Hello, hi. Did you know that many countries across the world and the global south do not condemn Russia despite the many pressures and threats from the US to do so? Countries like, let's see, Angola, South Africa, Pakistan, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Algeria, the Congo, Mexico, Venezuela, Syria, Cuba, Nicaragua, China, DPRK, India, list goes on and on. And they have actually condemned the actions of the US in instigating this crisis and the sanctions put on Russia by the US. Seems they understand this crisis a little differently. You see, 30 years ago, the Soviet Union collapsed. And since then, the United States has had complete unipolar domination over the world and all of its countries. And let's see, what did they do with this total power? Did they fulfill their promise of spreading freedom and democracy? Quite the opposite. They expanded their neocolonialism and decided to build 800 military bases around the world and threaten other countries who do not serve their interests with coups, interventions, aggression, the hegemony of the US dollar, killer sanctions, the list goes on and on. As much as you would like to believe that this is some sort of Russian imperialist aggression that is happening now, this is actually a pushback against US hegemony and US dominance and US imperialism. You can deny all that you want, all of the NATO expansions and aggressions and broken promises and broken Minsk agreements and US funding of very openly declared neo-Yazis that have cleansed the Ukrainians in the east, and you can deny the coup of the Ukrainian democratically elected leader Yanukovych. But what you can't deny is that this is the first time in 30 years that there has been a significant threat to the US dominance and its hegemony. And those in the rest of the world understand this, for they have experienced similar things that happened to Yanukovych when they pushed back against US interests or the IMF or the US dollar. They have also experienced the destabilization, the coups, the propping up of far right militias, the civil wars, and everything that comes from not serving the interests of the US. And so, as much as the US is threatened right now and has to paint other countries like Russia and China as these horrible authoritarian dictatorships, they know that they are threatened because these countries do not do what they do. Russia has only 15 foreign military bases that it does not use for these type of imperialistic endeavors. China has one foreign military bases. The US is extremely threatened by the Belt and Road Initiative, the Silk Road, by the rise of China, by the pushback of Russia, by their partnership, by the creation of a multipolar world that does not operate in this manner of exploitation of others, but offers a shared prosperity with others. And if you ever try to leave the sphere of Western media and actually do a historical and material analysis and look at a country like Russia from an economic perspective rather than from your manufactured domestic culture war, you will understand that it is much farther left than your country and not some right wing, horrible dictatorship. It actually has large public sectors and state ownership, and this is what your bourgeois liberal economists call oligarchy. They're actually using that term in far right-wing economic way, and now you are using it in a very neocon way, along with many other terms, moving your Overton window even farther right in America with your pro-war propaganda and your aggression and your demonizing of other countries with zero understanding of their economic policies. So maybe try to take a look at whether you think it's better to live in a unipolar world using this type of US aggression and hegemony, or whether a multipolar world would actually bring us more peace. And I will just end this fun little TED talk by reading to you the statement by Cuba's foreign minister, Cuba, who has been under horrible 60-year embargo by the United States. They say, "We call on the US and NATO to seriously and realistically heed the well-founded demands for security guarantees by Russia, which has the right to defend itself."